sinister action on the Hill, Mr. Thiessen. Photos here in the Wall Street Journal of Jay Bybee on the left and John Yoo. They point out
great Americans.
Justice Department lawyers who wrote some of the key memos. Senior Democrats, they write, are now lining up their own investigation. Some of the names out there: Judiciary Chairman Conyers on the House side, Senate Intelligence Chairwoman Feinstein, Senate side, Jan Schakowsky, Democrat, House side again. What are you anticipating now on the Hill?
Well, the president yesterday just gave a lot of juice to the idea of a truth commission of some kind. I think this is incredibly dangerous because the information that has already come out, the information that has been produced in these memos is harming national security. For what I told you about Abu Zubaydah and what he said about how the techniques, how they have to resist until their level of resistance has been met. That information is going to be used by Al-Qaeda to resist interrogation in the future. Another technique, for example, so, the people can debate whether waterboarding is torture or not. Sleep deprivation isn't torture. Sleep deprivation is used by law enforcement. Sleep deprivation is a common interrogation technique. One of the things that the OLC memos say is that the legal standard for cutting off the sleep deprivation is if the detainee begins to show signs of hallucinations. So now all Al-Qaeda has to do, as they're downloading this in their cave in Waziristan and reviewing it, is train their operatives to fake hallucinations, and they defeat the technique. So all this information that's come out has been incredibly damaging to the national security of our country.
Last call from Bill, New Lenox, Illinois. Good morning.
Yes, Mr. Thiessen, it's great to hear somebody standing up there and telling the facts, giving us the factual information.
Thank you.
Other than these, these one-line reporters. You belong to be on one of the news channels.
Thank you very much.
But anyway, the way this stuff is reported is evidenced by a previous caller there that doesn't even know what waterboarding is. And number two, if we're going to prosecute and investigate this thing, the Armed Services Intelligence Committee was totally briefed. It's just coming out this morning, I've heard. They report this stuff like Cheney and Bush had direct lines to the places they were interrogating these people. The Armed Services Committee was totally briefed, totally knew what these procedures were, totally agreed with them, said, get us the information, and that's where it went. So I think, it's being reported just very unfairly. Thanks for listening.
Final thoughts.
Couldn't agree with you more. Again, from Dennis Blair's letter that was just obtained by the Washington Times this morning. As the OLC's memos demonstrate, from 2002 through 2006, when the use of these techniques ended, the leadership of the CIA repeatedly reported their activities to both the executive branch policymakers and to members of Congress and received permission to continue the use of those techniques. So everybody was on board with this program. And the reality is, listen, it's 7 years since September 11, 2001. In the days after September 11th, when we were aware of the threat, we were conscious of the threat, when everybody thought the second wave was coming, nobody questioned these techniques. The reason anyone is questioning these techniques, can you imagine if we were having this debate a month after the September 11th attacks? It wouldn't have happened. No one would be questioning these techniques. The fact that we're having this debate right now and that there's so much outrage about what was done in this program is evidence to me that our country is beginning to forget the events of September 11, 2001. Then it is a result of, and is a direct result of the program, not of the techniques, of the success of the program. And I think it's unfortunate. The release of these memos, the fact that our country is beginning to forget, puts us in grave danger of being attacked again.
Mark Thiessen, former chief speechwriter for President Bush, also chief speechwriter for Secretary of Defense Rumsfeld. He's now at the Hoover Foundation, or Hoover Institution, senior fellow there. Thanks a lot for your time this morning.
Thanks very much for having me.
It is just after 8 o'clock Eastern Time, just about 2 hours left in this Wednesday edition of the Washington Journal.